Hello. So no, I didn't bring my ring light. I'm just out walking a little bit. The sun has set and you can see this island here called Husøy, and then the fjord, and I live straight ahead now, so I'll just walk home again. What is a person? The best definition that I have seen of a person is someone who can take moral responsibility, someone who can be held morally accountable. That's what separates us from animals. Animals are sentient too, they can feel pain and so on. And maybe you could make different life forms who can do that, and if they are at the animal level, then they wouldn't be persons unless they had this ability to be held morally accountable, right? Now, there are some people, some humans I mean, that we also don't hold morally accountable. We don't hold children morally accountable, small children at least. But I still consider them persons, but that would be because they have this potential to soon have that moral accountability if they don't have it already. I think they have it, that's maybe by age 7 or 8 or 9 or something, whatever. At least it's not long, they will have it, right? Okay. Then there's another group, that's the so-called insane. They also don't get held accountable for their crimes because they supposedly lack the ability to understand the moral implications sometimes. And okay, sure, if that's so, then that's as bad as it sounds, then they really aren't persons, right? They don't even have that potential. Okay, there's such a thing as temporary insanity, supposedly. I don't know if I believe in that, but anyway, yeah, it's as bad as it sounds. And that's also why I totally oppose any kind of involuntary definition that you're criminally insane. You should always, always, always have the option to take responsibility. You should never, ever be forced into treatment for mental illness. That is a crime against humanity. So yeah, I believe in this definition. I stand by it. And that is why the worst thing you can be accused of isn't the worst crimes, but regardless of crime, being accused of not being accountable. That's the worst the very worst accusation that can be made against a person, because it's dehumanizing. It robs you of your personhood, or tries to do that, right? And that is the accusation that my family tried against me in 2012. Especially my father, right? He tried to present this idea, this accusation, that I am sick, that I am not acting in a morally responsible way. And right now, I don't care what crimes I was accused of, that's beside the point. They happen to be bullshit crimes too. But this much more significant point, that I was accused of not being a person by my definition of person. That is the greatest betrayal, and that came on top of the betrayal of cooperating with the cops, which is unforgivable in itself, of course. But then you have this betrayal, this moral betrayal, the moral failing. It wasn't just a betrayal, it was a moral degradation, right? An attempt to dismiss my personhood, to dismiss my moral agency, to take responsibility for my actions. Criminal or not, I am responsible. I don't care, for the purpose of this point, if what I did was criminal. It happened not to be. But in any case, I take full and complete responsibility for it, because it's a moral choice. I was blogging with premeditation, and I meant every word of it. And I take moral responsibility. If you try to take that responsibility away from me, you are denying my personhood. That is the ultimate insult. And that is the insult that he is guilty of. That's what it literally happened to me in 2012. Can you believe it? It's so surreal. I don't know anybody else this has happened to. It is so special. Like, maybe you can find somebody who's been betrayed by their family in a criminal case. Okay, but then they didn't go so far as to deny moral agency, and they certainly didn't do it in a case that was so ridiculous that I even got compensated for wrongful prosecution and imprisonment. I think that is unique in my knowledge, to my knowledge. I don't know of any other case of that. So no, of course that's unforgivable. And I'm here to tell you that I take responsibility. The whole point of what I did was to take moral responsibility. That is the whole point. Otherwise, there's no point in being a dissident if you're not going to take responsibility for it. And the worst thing you can do to a dissident is to dismiss their politics as some kind of mental illness, right? That is the most tyrannical way to deal with political opposition. It's the absolute worst thing you can do to an activist. Which is why this was such a horrible nightmare for me. And why I stand alone when my family went along with it. Because then I can't have anything to do with them, because they're only gonna make the situation worse. So that's how it went.